Hello everyone and welcome back to CBSE TechTalks. In today's video, we will explore an essential concept from Class 12th Computer Science with Python, and that is functions. Large programs are generally avoided because it is difficult to manage a single list of instructions. Thus, a large program is broken down into small units known as functions. Function is a group of statements or subprogram or subroutine with a well-defined task to perform. Now, let's begin with the objective of this video. By the end of this video or at the end of this video, you will be able to use built-in functions in a program. You will be able to import libraries and use of built-in methods. You will be able to create user-defined functions. You will be able to call functions and even return the values from the functions. Before moving further, let's go through the advantages of functions. The program is easier to understand and easy to debug. Main block of program becomes compact as the code of function is not part of it. Thus, it is easier to read and understand and can be easily debugged. Redundant code is at one place, so making changes is easier. Instead of writing code again when we need to use it more than once, we can write the code in the form of a function and call it more than once. If you later need to change the code, we change it in one place only. Thus, it saves our time also. Reusable functions can be put in a library of module. We can store the reusable functions in the form of modules. These modules can be imported and used when needed in the other programs. Now, what are the different type of functions supported by Python? Python comes preloaded with many functions that you can use as per your needs. You can even create your own functions. Python have three types of functions. The very first is built-in functions. Examples are len, type, print, etc. Second one is functions defined in modules. These functions are predefined in particular modules and can only be used when the corresponding module is imported. For example, if you want to use predefined functions in a module, say sqrt, you need to first import math in your program. The third one is user-defined functions. These are defined by the programmer. As a programmer, you can create your own functions, you can define and you can use them. Before moving further, let's try a few codes before that. I will be using same coding which is given here, and I can show you how it works. So if I'm writing print is a function. Function generally can be distinguished from the other part of program by seeing at the parenthesis after it. All the functions have parenthesis after the function name. So print is having parenthesis. Parentheses are nothing but the smaller brackets, or you can say circle brackets, and inside that I want to display hello world, so that is mentioned in the quotes being a string. So you got answer what is written inside the print command. Next one is, if you want to try one more, let's take one more. Now this function len is a function, as after len we have parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis one list is passed. We will be covering list in the coming chapters, and even you have done in grade 11th also. So in this case there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items in the list. And as we are finding out the length of this, so it should give us 4. Let's check what answer are we getting. Okay, this is also done. Now, when we are talking about the built-in modules, so we need to import. Now, if we want to import, we can even go with the interact mode also, but then you have to import first, and then let's import is done, and then you can go with the second command. That can also be done, or you can go with the in the script mode. So import is mentioned in the previous line, and then I'm writing here. So am I getting answer? So this is the square root of 16 is 4, but before using square root, we should have function used in the coding. So you can write even this in the script mode. It will be easier for us to go with the script mode. So I'm giving comment first. You can say programs related to functions. So first of all, we have to import math, and that second line we can display this. So let's run it. I need to save this program, so I'm going to my folder and I'm giving the name as function1. Okay, function1 is already there, so let's take function2. So you are getting answer 4. Okay, let's move to the next. I think this is clear now. We can go with the random function. This is one more important, you can say, which is generally students get confused with. So what I can do, I can even break here also, and let's do. I told you in the previous coding, we can use set break, and then we can go here and we can we have to go to one more line and then go back, and then you can set the breakpoint, and after that cursor you can move and you can write here. So this is my second, you can say, program with the import. So if I will run this, it is going to give both the answers one after the other, as the complete module is one only. So 4 is coming for the first, and second one answer is giving 2. So it is a random function and random int. We are getting a random value of integer type from 1 to 10. So it will be in any range. Every time you will run, it is going to give you random number. And for this we have to import random. If I will run again once again, I may not get 2 this time. System may generate any random number. So this time it has generated 8. So this is what we have done, the functions. Now when we talk about the functions, user defined functions, there are few things which need to be taken into consideration. The first thing is that the function has to start with the keyword def. So this is, we are giving the def is the definition, we are defining, and after that function name. Function name is any name, you can use any identifier as a function name, and then the parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis you will be passing some parameters. Now you may pass parameters or you may not pass parameters. Then the function body will be there with indented statements. It means all the statements within the function will be indented towards right. Okay, so all the statements under that is making the function body, and that need to be indented, and use a meaningful name, and then you have to call the function like this. This function is greet, and we are using hello user from user defined function. And then let me try this for also for you to make you more clear. So again we can go with the same. Okay, it should give us answer. The three answers will be all in together. Hello from the user defined function. Now before moving further, I would like to once again explain all the terminology which we use with the function. So first of all, we have to use def, this is the reserved word, and the function name, parenthesis and column. This is known as function header. Okay, so here if I go with in this only, so I can write here comment after this. This is function header. Okay, all the statements here, you can say I'm writing again here comment function. This function is having only one statement, so this is function body. This is a part of function body. Okay, now this statement is what? Function call. We have called the function here, function called. Now, so we have basically these things. Now, the colon here after the function name is telling identify, you can say it, interpreter, that it is the end of the function header. Okay, then return statement, you may use return statement or you may not use return statement. Let's use here, if I write return, as this function is not returning anything, I can simply leave this return. So this is the return statement, but as it is not returning, so I have left a blank. So return no value, it is not returning any value. So methods may return value or may not return value. Now, when the functions are returning value, it may return one value or it may return more than one value. Now, if we talk about the functions regarding the return type and regarding the list of parameters which we pass, so we may have function, there are four types of function without return and without arguments. Second one is function without return but with arguments. Third one is function without return but with arguments. And the fourth one is function return and argument. So we are having four different combinations. Now the function definite body I have called, explain you what is function call, I have explained you. So these are the terminologies which are used with the function. So we should have function header, which starts with def, any variable name or identifier name which you want as a function, and then parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis you may have some values which you want to be passed as, and then the colon, then function body, and then we have to call the function. So these are three things which need to be taken into consideration while declaring a function. Now, when we talk about function, I said just now that it may have parameters or you may pass values to the function. So we have arguments and parameters. Now, what are arguments and what are parameters, and how to use arguments and parameters in your functions? When we talk about parameters, these are formal parameters. Generally we call it, in some programming language we call it only parameters. Arguments or parameters are interchangeable, but then exact terminology uses with the parameters, they are formal parameters which is used in a function header. So here if we see here this a and b, these are parameters. Okay, so which is used in function header of the call statement. Okay, to receive the value from the actual parameters. So these 5 and 3 are actual parameters, or you can say arguments, and these are formal parameters, or you can say parameters. Am I clear? So A and B here in this case are either you can call them parameters or formal parameters. 5 and 3 are arguments or actual parameters. Now, after this we have types of arguments or parameters. I think this is clear. So how it will go, I will be explaining in the next slide. But these are A and B are parameters, 5 and 3 are arguments, or 5 and 3 are actual parameters, and A and B are formal parameters. Now, default and positional parameters. Which are default and which are positional parameters? So before this, I will be explaining you with the help of example. Let's move with the example. I'm breaking this all, I'm making new, so that otherwise again and again we are getting same output. So I don't want you to get same output again and again. So, okay. Can we delete it here only? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go with the program with type of parameters. Now we will be going with 2, 3, and I will explain all of them. So let's take an example. If I have def as a function, keyword for the function, and I want to add 3 parameters, like you can say x, y, and z. Colon, of course, colon. The moment you will put colon and press enter key, it has already indented, if you have noticed. Now I'm simply return, you can say I'm returning x plus y plus z. So this function is going to return the value, the parameters are passed, or you can say formal parameters are there x, y, z, and we are returning the sum of all the formal parameters. So when you are calling the call statement, the value which this function is going to return should be stored in some variable, or you can say there should be one variable which can hold it, which I told you in the previous statement. So I will be using, let's take an example, sum. Sum equals to, let's write the name of function and pass three values, 5, 10 and 15. Now please pay attention. This is a function header which consists of three parameters. They are formal parameters, or let's call parameters and arguments only. This function is returning the sum of those parameters, and when the function is returning, the call statement should have a variable which can hold the value of return from the function, and we have called the function 5, 10 and 15. Now 5, 10 and 15, if we talk about the positional arguments. Now before that, how it is calling, I want to tell you what is positional arguments. These are past argument values in the actual argument, which are copied in the formal arguments by their position in the function call. Or in the easy language, you can understand that the first element will be, the first value from the arguments will be assigned to the first parameter. Second will be assigned to second. Third will be assigned to third, and so on. It means when we are going to call this function, the value 5, the 5 value which is constant, will be assigned to variable x, 10 will be assigned to variable y, and 15 will be assigned to variable z. Am I clear? So first value will go to first parameter, second will go to second parameter, and third will go to third parameter. Let's run it. Simple, this program is going to give the addition of three numbers, and it will be going to give us okay. Now nothing has been displayed. The reason being, you have called the function, the value is return value is assigned to the variable sum, but we have not used any output statement, or you can say print statement, so that's why nothing has been displayed. So I'm writing here print out sum, and let's run again once again. So you got answer 30. So how 30? 5 plus 10 plus 15. I think this is clear. Now the next one is keyword argument, that is, or the named argument. In that case, what happened? The key arguments are passed by its name instead of their position. In the previous case, in this case, if you see, their positions are first is gone to first, second is to second, third is to third. While with the keyword arguments, they will be assigned, we are going to assign the value. Let's take an example, z equals to this thing. Okay, then you can say x equals to, and let's take y equals to. So in this case, what will happen? The value of z, the value 5, which in the previous case has gone to the variable x, will not go to x, it is going to go to variable z only. Now the value of x is 10, value of y is 15. Now as this function is only adding and returning, so we are not clear with. So I am writing here three print statements to make you more clear. So print x equals to, so this is going to give the value of x, which value is passed to x. Print y equals to, this is going to give the value of y which we have passed, and print z equals to, so this is going to display the value of z. Now we will be going, okay, before this I should show you the previous case. Let me show better. Then I will be writing here. Let me show the previous one first. Now run. When we are running, it is giving x equals to 5, y equals to, let me see, make it this way. So x equals to 5, y equals to 10, and z equals to 15, which we passed. Okay, now I want to change it. If I write here z equals to, if write here x equals to, and if I write here y equals to. Okay, now these are keyword arguments means we are sending the key value of keys. Let's run it first. Now see here, the value of x is 10 because we have passed the value of x is 10. Value of y is 15 and value of z is 3. Sorry, value of z is 5 and answer is 30. So I think it's clear that if we are specifying the variable name equals to, it will go to that variable. Otherwise, it will go with the positional values. I hope it is clear. The third case is, it is default arguments. Now, default arguments are the default values defined in the function definition for a parameter. Python uses the default if corresponding actual arguments are not passed in the function call. Let's take an example. I'm sending three values. Okay. Now, instead of three values, it can be a mixture of that. I'm sending only 5 and 10. And the value of z I have not sent here, but I have given here 30. Now in this case, as in the call statement, only two values are passed. So the 5 will be assigned to x and 10 will be assigned to y, while the value of z is not passed here. So z will take the value 30, which is given by default. Let's run it first and then I will show you the variation in the coding. Now see here, the value of x is 5, the value of y is 10 and the value of z is 30, as 30 was not given. So it has taken the default value. But when it is going to take default value, when value is not passed. Suppose I pass value here 25. Let's see what will happen now. In this case, if you see x equals to 5, y equals to 10 and z equals to 25. In the previous case, when 25 was not passed, the value of z was taken as 30. It means the default value will be taken for the parameter if argument value is not passed. I am repeating once again. The default value will be taken in the case only when there are less number of arguments passed to the function. Now this is you can say default. In the previous two examples I have shown you, one was the keyword parameters and the other one was, you can say, positional parameters. Now while doing the coding, we may have mixture of, you can say, any two. Now there are some rules for that. An argument list must first contain all the positional arguments followed by any key argument. If I want to give position as well as key values, let's take an example. I want 5 to be given this way, and if I write here z equals to, and if I write here y equals to, it means the first, in this example I have used all three types of. I have used the positional, means x, the value 5 should go to x. Then I have given the, you can say, keywords, and even I have given the default also. Let's run how it is going to give answer. Now the value of x is 5 because the first value is passed x to the x only. The value of y is 25 and the value of z is 30. I think it's clear because we have passed the values for y and z. Now y and z, and while the first value is taken from this one. So the first rule is an argument list must first contain positional arguments followed by any key argument. So I have used key argument as well as I have used the positional. Second condition or second rule applies is that keyword argument should be taken from the required argument preferably. Now if I have used x, y, z only here, and what if I make it x, y and w here? Let's see what will happen. It has given us error. Add got an unexpected keyword argument w. It means when you are using keyword argument, you have to use the parameter list only. You can't go beyond. Am I clear? And the third one is, you cannot specify a value for an argument more than once. The third case is, okay, I'm making it again is y only, but if I write here x, let's take an example. Now you see here the value of z is taken as a default parameter, and the value of this first value is going to x, second value is assigned to x, and the value of y is given 25 and z is 30. Let's see, is it going to give an error message or it is going to execute? Now it has given an error message. What is the error message? Type error, add got multiple values for argument x. It means x is given once, but while passing the parameter values, you have passed more than once. I think I have made all the rules, all the type of arguments clear, and even the rules are made clear. You can try more, and if you want, you can comment. If you want more practice to be given, or if you have some doubts, you may comment, put on comment also. I will revert back to you for those. So this we have done positional values. Now function returning values. As just now I told you that function in Python may return or may not return a value. So functions in Python may or may not return a value. There are two types of functions in Python on the basis of return type. One is functions returning some values, and that function is known as non-void functions also, or fruitful functions also, having some meaning. So fruitful functions, non-void functions, or function returning some values. The second one is functions not returning any value, or you can say void functions or non-fruitful functions. Now in this example, here is the two parameters are passed, so parameter and arguments are very much clear to you. Now this function is returning more than one value. Okay, now we have passed 4 and 5. 4 will go to A, 5 will go to B, and in the return statement we have done the addition of A and B and multiplication of A and B. Let's try on Python. Okay, I'm removing this so that, okay, now it is returned. Okay, now it is, okay, again it is not giving you the output, so I'm writing print statement beforehand only. Print the name of function, sorry, the parameter variable which is getting the value from, okay, and let's print the second variable in the next line. Print, and before that we can use product equals to product, and here we can use sum equals to sum. Sum equals to sum. These all things you know, so that's what I'm not repeating again and again. So we are programmed with return type. Okay, so I'm running it. Let's run it. Okay, now you got sum equals to 9 and product equals to 20. So 2 has gone, sorry, two parameters have been passed, 4 and 5. The sum of 4 and 5 is what? 9, and the multiplication of 4 and 5 is 20. So it is giving you 20. So this is a function returning more than one value. In the previous example, if you remember, which we did, I just now explained, that function was returning one value. It is returning more than one value. And if you remember the first example which I gave you, there was no return value. So without return also you can go with. Now, if we go with the return, there are some points which you need to consider while using the return statement. The computed value is returned using return statement. So you need to have return statement in that. The values being returned can be of following types. You can return a literal, you can return a variable, or you can use an expression also. So if you see here, I have used expression here. These are expression. And in the previous we use variables like returning x, y, z we were returning, or some we were returning, or you may return even constant value also. You may straight away write some value, numeric value or string. When you call a function that is returning a value, variable is or identifier should be there to hold the value. I told you that this function is returning two values, so we should have two variables which is holding the value. So first value which we are returning is assigned to the first variable, second value is assigned to the second variable. It is already discussed. Functions with no return value, the function that performs some action and do some work but do not return any computed value to the caller, are called void function. Means you have done some task, parameters may be passed or may not be passed. You have done some task in the function, but you don't want that calculated value to be used by the main program. Further, you can display then and there only according to the requirement of program. So that is called the void function. So you will, a void function may or may not have a return statement. Okay, you may use return statement or you may not use return statement if a function is not returning value. If you are using return statement with function not returning any value, you will simply write return, nothing else after that. Multiple returning values I have already told you. Now, when you are returning more than one value, there are some rules which need to be taken into consideration. First of all, I want to tell Python is unlike other programming language. Python lets you return more than one value from a function. In all other programming language, you are allowed to return only one value with the function. If you have to return more than one value, then you have to go with pass by reference. Otherwise, function will return only one value. With reference, you can get more than one outputs. So the following points need to be taken into consideration while returning more than one value. Returning, after return, you have to write variable 1, comma variable 2. Like I have used x plus b, sorry, a plus b, comma a into b. So comma is to be put between all the values. Function call statement should receive or use the return value in one of the two ways. Either you can use this way or you may use tuple also. Now if you are using tuple, let's take an example. I'm, instead of giving this, if I use here t tuple, and then if I write here print t, what will happen? I will show you. Let's see what will happen. Run. I'm getting 9 and 20. What is 9 and 20? Because a plus b is 5 plus 4 is 9 and 5 into 4 is 20. So I'm getting 9 and 20 that way. Otherwise, I showed you the other way. You are getting two values. Now the last thing is flow of execution. Now how the execution of function takes place. Execution starts from the main program. Function must be called in the to execute. So you have to call the function. Execution resumes after function call is complete. I will show you using this. So first of all, it executes if execution start from the main program. So main, this is the function definition, main program is here only. T is the, this is the main program, you can see. So it starts from here and in this only we have called the function. Now you can make it more clear. Let's take an example here. I will modify this only. X equals to int input enter first number. Okay, then y equals to int input enter second number. Okay, and now I can pass x and y here to make you more clear how it starts with the main program. Okay, so it will start from this statement, or you may write here main also, like some right here also you can say main. This is the main program. So first it will read the value of x and y and those values will go here and x and y. The value of x will be assigned to variable a and value of y will be assigned to variable b, and then it will do some calculation and it is going to return. Let's run it. Enter the first number. Suppose first number is 34. Enter the second number. Suppose 45. Now it is giving you 79 and the multiplication of both the numbers. So what I was saying, execution starts with main program. Then the function call takes place. The moment interpreter of Python is going to encounter this statement, control will shift to the function because function is called here. It will execute the function and it will follow, it will assign the variable because it is having the assignment variable here. It will assign to that and follow the execution after the function. So it is execution starts from main program. Function must be called to execute and execution resumes after function call is complete. I think it's clear. Then the last topic is scope of a variable. Now when we talk about the scope of a variable, it refers to the part of the module where it can be used. So if you have declared any variable, in which area of program that variable can be used. A variable can have local scope or global scope. Now, local scope will be the scope which inside the function, while global scope will be everywhere, even outside, variable declared outside all the functions and even inside also. Now, if you want if there is ambiguity, it means there is local variable as well as global variable with the same name, and you want to prefer the global variable only. So you have to use a keyword known as global to modify global variable inside the function. Okay, so first on local variable, I explain you what exactly is local variable, what is global variable I explain you, and how to change it. Let's take an example. If I go with this only, I'm going taking this only, and we can go ahead with this coding. Let's take under this only, it will be clear. Okay, so I have to go. This is local variable. Function is called here and function is printed here. This is what the program is. It consists of a function. This x is global variable, then function is there. When we have declared x, we will be printing the value of x inside the function and outside the function. Let's see what will happen. It is going to ask the previous question, so let's continue with this. First of all, now please pay attention. It has displayed 5 and 10. Now 10 is the global variable, but inside the function you have used again x. So inside the function only local variable will be in use. You can't modify the outer variable. Let's take an example. If I make it y here, and if I write here x, and I am using one more print command, that is y. Let's see what will be output now. We can make it more clear, because otherwise you will not come to know what the values are of. And okay, now you can write the value of x in the function. Value of x in function, okay, and value of x in outside function. Value of x outside function equals to, okay, to make it more clear, run. Asking values, I am giving any values. Value of x in function is 10 and the value of x outside function is also 10. Now x is used outside only, there is no local variable x here, declared here. But if we go with, let's take an example, x equals to 25. Let's see what will happen this time. Now the value of x in function is 25, which I assigned here, and the value of y is 5. Of course, there is no global variable, and value of x outside the function is 10. It means global function is working only outside if the same variable name is given inside. Otherwise, if no variable is existing inside, it will be taking global variable everywhere. Now, how to make it global? How to use variable keyword as global? So what we will write here, instead of after this, we will write global A. So global x. It means x is used globally. Let's run it. Is it going to have any effect or same it is coming? Okay. The value of x in the function is 25 and the value of x outside the function is 25. It means the variable which we took outside the function, x, which was global, now inside the function also we are, you can say, preceding, and inside the function also it is global variable. So we have changed the value of x here. It means we are changing the value of x which is outside, which is a global variable. Okay, I'm showing you once again output to make you more clear. So the value of x in both the cases, when we change, it was different, but this time we have used global reserve word, so it is giving you same answer everywhere. With this, the chapter gets over. there is one more terminology which you can say, that is lifetime of a variable. So the lifetime of a variable is the time for which a variable lives in memory. For a global variable, lifetime is entire program. As long as the program is going to run, it is going to exist. While for the local variables, it is only inside the function itself. Now, if you have any doubts, please put in comments. If you like my video, please like and subscribe so that I can put more videos for you. You may give your suggestions which topic you want the video for. I will be bringing that again for you. I will be trying to make video for you people that way. And when you like and subscribe, it motivates me. I'm in the better position to put videos for you. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.